There's a hadith, famous hadith that's narrated by Thawban, where the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, the people will soon summon one another to attack you as people eating from a dish would invite others to share food. Okay? And so Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is like, they're going to come, people are going to be invited as if they're carving you up. The Muslim world, they're carving you up to, as if they're being invited to eat from a dish. And if you look at colonialism and the effects of colonialism, that's exactly what happened, okay? European nations, they just carved it up. You look at some of the borders, it's just like almost like a straight line. It's like drawn with a ruler, okay? There's not even natural borders. And you see actually the effects, unfortunately, the ill effects afterwards. You've seen so much strife in Africa, civil war, and chaos. You've seen this issue of Kashmir. That's actually a holdover from colonialism, from how they left, everything in flux. If you look at Palestine, again, we see the effects of colonialism. So when you have like these colonial empires and nations coming in and kind of carving up, it's like, they came in and divided up these resources for them to consume. And so when the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said this, one of the Sahaba said, is it because we're going to be few in number? Because I want you to think about the mindset of the Sahaba. They're thinking like in Mecca. In Mecca, they had very few Muslims. And because of their few in number, the Quraysh the Mushrikeen were able to kind of oppress them, take advantage of them, bully them around. So they're saying, is it because we're going to be few in number? Because they're thinking about maybe we're just so badly outnumbered that people are going to be able to overcome us and bully us. They're thinking maybe about Mecca, right? And so the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam clarifies that. He says, no, you will be numerous at that time. But you're going to be, he describes the insignificance of those numbers. That you're going to be like the froth, like the scum that is carried away on the ocean, on the sea. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take away the fear from the hearts of your enemies and cast wahan in your hearts. And so the Sahaba asked, what's wahan? And the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, love of this dunya and fear of death. So the quality is more important than the quantity. Like if I were to say to you, here, I'm going to give you a choice. 1,000 Facebook friends, okay? Or like 2 real friends, like, real friends that like you call them up 2 a.m., I need you, they're there. What are you going to pick? Who's going to pick the 1,000 Facebook friends, right? Like really, like if for some people, maybe they're superficial, they don't care. They're like, 1,000, like, this is like, put it on my social media profile or whatever. But most people who value decent relationships, they're going to be like, hey, if I have 2 good friends, like people I can trust them with my secrets, I can trust them with, value my valuables or whatever. I'd rather have someone like that. I'd rather have people like that. And similarly, when you look amongst the Muslims, you see people who are just Muslim. They're Muslim by name. That's it. Muslim, maybe by their outer appearance, by name, whatever. Oh, I'm categorized as a Muslim. How many of those Muslims then are mu'min? They're true believers. Okay, so they're trying to fulfill the different branches of Iman. And how many of them reach the state of muhsin, where they're perfecting their good deeds, they're perfecting their deen? And when you look at how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes people, in this case it was Bani Israel, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَلَا يُؤْمِنُونَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. So they believe not except for a few. So even amongst the Muslims, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says is that only a few people are going to be Muslim. Okay? So you're going to have not the majority is going to be Muslim, but you're going to have a few people, they believe not except for a few. So as if that's the exception. And now, the people who believe, how many now, once they say La ilaha illallah, are they going to remain steadfast upon that? And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tells us about when Bani Israel, who said that they would believe, and he told them, what does that mean? So what do you have to follow up with? What do you need to be continuous upon? So it was told to them in Surah Al-Baqarah 83 that you need to believe in Allah alone, you need to be dutiful to your parents, you need to be good to the orphans, to your kin, to the poor, you need to speak good. So there's a lot of things that go along with belief that you need to stay steadfast with. It's not easy all this time to stick with it. And so about these people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in this ayah, إِلَّا قَلِيلًا مِنْكُمْ, that they slid back. At the beginning of the ayah says, they slid back except a few of you. So most of them, when they were supposed to be doing all this as part of their belief, as part of their iman, that they slid back, except for a few. They went back to what they were doing. So from those who don't believe to believe, it's few, and it's fewer still that those people who stay steadfast upon that. And then the cream of the crop, the ones that, they are looking to initiate. They're looking to do more than the bare minimum. They're looking to always excel, be the first. Be the first. So if you see people collecting for sadaqah, they want to be the first to give for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hey, we need you to volunteer for the da'wah. I'm going to be the first to help out, do whatever I can. Can you make dua for me? You're amongst the group, you want to be the first one to make dua for so-and-so. And so there's going to be a few, even fewer, who are always going to be the first to adhere to the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to promote the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to excel. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about these people, وَالسَّابِقُونَ السَّابِقُونَ, that the foremost, so the people who are foremost racing, they're going to be the foremost, the first in Jannah, أُولَٰئِكَ الْمُقَرَّبُونَ, and they are going to be the closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. في جنة النعيم, and they will be in gardens of delight in paradise.